All right, so here we have absolute value inequalities. So a is a positive number, then the absolute value is less than a is equivalent to less than a, which is less than x, which is less than positive a. So whenever you have this type of inequality where the arrow is pointing to the absolute value, then your format would be this, which would be like a sandwich style. So let's go ahead and try that out in the first one. So again, your arrow is pointing towards the absolute value. So you're going to write it as a sandwich style. So your number here, which is 2, it's going to become negative. So negative 2 is less than what's inside the absolute value, m minus 6, and then the positive version. So just the positive 2. And then you're just going to go ahead and try to isolate the variable in the middle. So you're going to go ahead and add 6 to all three sides. And you'll get 4, which is less than m, which is less than 8. So then you're going to go ahead and graph this. Remember, we graphed these in a previous section. So it would be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it's just going to be an open circle from 4 to 8. And again, that's because there's no equal sign underneath the less than or greater than. Okay, so that would be our graph. And then we're also going to just write this in interval notation. So that's just going to be from parentheses 4 to 8. All right, so let's go ahead and try one more of those. So we have the absolute value of 5x plus 1 plus another 1 on the outside of the absolute value is less than 10. So again, it's that same style that we were just dealing with, but in this case, the absolute value is not isolated on one side of the inequality. So we're going to go ahead and subtract that 1 to the other side. We're going to get absolute value of 5x plus 1 is less than or equal to 9. And then we're going to go ahead and do the sandwich thing. So negative 9 is less than 5x plus 1, which is less than the positive 9. And then you could go ahead and subtract 1 on both sides. We get negative 10 is less than or equal to 5x, which is less than or equal to 8, and then divide by 5. So we get negative 2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 8 over 5. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and do a graph here. And we're going to go ahead and start with negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. And then maybe go all the way to 3. All right, so 8.5 is just, 8 divided by 5 is somewhere in between 2 and 3, so I'm just going to put that number in there. And then we're going to have a closed circle at negative 2, and then it's going to go all the way to 8.5 and another closed circle because these are less than or equal to. And the interval notation is going to be from negative 2 to 8.5, 8 over 5, with a bracket on both sides. All right, so now we're going to move on to another type of absolute value inequalities. So this is when the arrow is pointing away from the absolute value. So you could see here, arrow is pointing away, right? And in that case, you're going to basically copy that without the absolute value. That'd be this one. And for the other one, you're going to copy that, flip the sign, and make that negative. So we're going to go ahead and do that for the first example. So again, notice the absolute value and then the arrow is pointing away from there. So I like to copy that first. So y minus 3 is greater than 7, or y minus 3. Again, flip the sign and make that number the opposite sign, so it would be -7. And then now you just solve. So +3 plus 3, -4, or +3 plus 3, y is greater than 10. And then we're going to go ahead and graph this. So we'll start at -4. Maybe we'll go by 2's. So at 4, it should be an open circle, and then it's 4 is less than -4. Sorry, y is less than -4. So it should be going this way, and this one says y is greater than 10, so it's going to be going on the right. So that would be the graph, and then the interval notation. That's going to be -infinity to -4 parentheses, u, and then 10 to +infinity. Alright, and let's just do one more of those. So again, I'm going to start over here, so I'm going to have y plus 4, the exact same thing. And then over here I have y plus 4, and then you flip the sign. You keep the equal sign though, and then you change the 6 to a -6. Alright, then we're going to solve both of those. Alright, and this is what we get, so we're going to go ahead and graph that. So I'm going to go by 2's again. And so we're going to have a closed circle at -10, and this is saying that y is less than, so the numbers that are less than -10 would be this way. And then at 2, y is greater than 2, so the numbers that are greater than 2, so it would be this way. So our interval notation is going to be from -infinity to -10, u, union it from 2 to infinity. And then these should be brackets.